All right, everybody, this will be warning to all politicians. I'm running for president 2024, and I believe this will be part 85 or 86. I'll have to look. Anyhow, a couple things. First off, a buddy of mine sent me this thing called the Fall of the Cabal, parts 1 through 10, by, I believe it said, the Patriot News. And then it makes references to this Q and QAnon stuff. So it has a lot of conspiracy stuff. Some of it's pretty interesting, and other stuff will just turn your stomach about that Pizzagate and the child trafficking and all that's going on. Of course, it's hard to qualify or substantiate, a lot of the accusations that go back and forth and stuff. So, but it was pretty interesting if you want to check it out. In the lovely desert of California here, it's supposed to be 120 in Needles, so I'm guessing it'll be the same across here today. Pretty hot. Other things in the news, you see them, the Black Lives Matter invading neighborhoods, and they had that deal where they looted all those stores in Chicago and stuff, and the mayor came out and said, oh, they're going to get them all, we're coming for you, and all this and everything. That remains to be seen. But what gets me is Black Lives Matter has these people that should be on, well, I'm guessing most of them anyway, but especially they're like spokespeople should be on, or they're Jerry Springer show rejects, because this girl that was just trying to justify the looting and everything was just, it's ridiculous. This type of people that are out there doing this stuff, and why they're given so much leeway to do all this crap, and law enforcement just hasn't said that's enough and gone and rounded them up, and also rounded up these people who support it and encourage it. Isn't that like aiding and abetting, or being an accomplice, that type of stuff? Definitely they need to do something, because these idiots are just, it's unbelievable, undescribable, and none of this has anything to do with George Floyd. And thinking of that and everything, being he was screaming he couldn't breathe before they ever put him on the ground. Is it possible he died of COVID and fentanyl and the meth and everything? It remains to be seen. If that cop didn't have any pressure, or not much pressure at all on his neck, then it's going to be pretty hard to, I don't know if you can tell that from the video stuff, but seems to me that there should have been testing for COVID and all that and everything. I don't know. Guess what? They never give all the facts and stuff. Speaking of facts, Arizona said they had their death tolls 4,500 from COVID. They had a few more cases that they added to the list yesterday and stuff. And I went on the internet there and tried to get the annual death tolls for the state of Arizona, and I didn't put anything in about COVID. I just said annual death toll, and automatically all this stuff having to do with COVID came up. How many COVID deaths? And it's like, well, that's not what I'm looking for. So I had to search around a little more, and I guess because of COVID, the records aren't up to date, because the only year that was up to date was 2018. And so like it listed 12,000 for died from heart disease, 12,000 from cancer. It had like accidents, motor vehicle accidents. It had liver disease. It had just whatever you want to, and it gave the totals. And then I think it said for flu and pneumonia or something like that, it was like 12 or 1,300 or something. for 2018. So they're saying 4,500 or 4,000. Was it 4,500? It was over 4,000 anyway in Arizona. It might have been 4,005 from COVID. And I'm just wondering how thorough everything is being done, and that we're getting all the truthful numbers and data on this. And because look, these states are getting big dollars for every case they report. And you see where South Dakota didn't do half the crap the rest of the country did, and they're back to 80% working and everything else. So shot the mountain over there. So I just don't think we're getting all the information. And as far as testing goes, I was listening to a thing about testing. The ones that are more accurate, this and that, and my question is since this is all colds and flus and everything are all related to this coronavirus, and was it SARS stuff and everything, it's all like the same strain, just different mutations, same basic stuff and everything. Why can't you just go to Walgreens and buy a test? Shouldn't they? Are they blocking private? Are they wanting so much control over it that the numbers and the testing and everything, are they wanting so much control over it that they're blocking private companies from just marketing tests and putting it in the Walgreens and your Walmart pharmacies and stuff? Come to think of, other than pregnancy tests, what other kind of tests? Why here? I'd look into that too if ever elected. Why this importance on only being able to go get tested for stuff when you go to the doctor? Aren't there a lot of things you can get a test for? Like a strip test and find out. So that would be another thing. I think that would reduce a lot of medical costs too, and also like your records when you do go get tested, when you do see a doctor. Any time you're on some kind of what was the big one back 80s, FHP and stuff like this, you went to a doctor, there was only certain things they would do to stay in the plan. And they would have to get permission and all that from the insurance to refer you, or they couldn't just do it willy-nilly to, you wanted to go see another type of doctor or have something done. They decided whether it was necessary or not. So why can't you just go to the doctor and say, hey doc, I want you to do this full whole rundown, test all these tests and everything, and I want all my results. Because there's also problems with people getting their own freaking medical records, copies of stuff. And so hopefully Trump does a lot more to give people a lot more power over their medical decisions and stuff. And so if a lot of the things that are in that the fall of the cabal parts 1 through 10, if a lot of those things are true, I hope the FBI and all those agencies, law enforcement agencies, are on the ball and are not playing politics, and will get these sick, very sick people who might be being protected by people with power and money from facing prosecution. It's like that Epstein guy. Are we even sure he's dead? I can believe he was murdered in this documentary, this Fall of the Cabal. And it's amazing how many people tied to the Clintons ended up with bullets in the head or in the back or hanging themselves and stuff like this. Like I said, I don't have no way of verifying if all those people were tied to the Clintons or if they're even dead. But according to this documentary, they are, and they were tied to them. But this Epstein guy, the money he had and everything, he had his own island. Who knows? Maybe he had another one somewhere. Maybe they faked it. I don't know if anybody saw the body. There's an autopsy, any pictures, this and that. If he was really dead, I mean, the cameras were disabled in the prison, this and that. The guards were, we were asleep or whatever the hell. So for all we know, he's someplace hanging out with Elvis. How old would Elvis be now? He'd be in his 80s or something, wouldn't he? We'll have to see what, because they arrested that woman that was his partner or whatever and stuff. But the royal family of Britain's entangled into it and everything. So, we may never know everything about it. But I'm just hoping law enforcement's on the case and I think I'll leave it at that for this type of stuff. Just wanted to point out that about the coronavirus data and stuff, and why aren't there tests that we can just go buy ourselves at Walgreens or something and test ourselves instead of you got to go to this place, wait in line all day, get this test, then they send it off, then you don't know for 3-5 days, whatever. Oh, and speaking of time, in the election, this deal about the mail-in ballots. All right, anything doing with the government right now because of coronavirus and them, laying off people or whatever, shutting down things, is running slow. And it come election time, if they don't have everything right, you're gonna wait for a month or more to find out who the president is. I've been sending the money to the IRS on a regular basis, and checks I wrote at the beginning of the year didn't clear to the middle of summer to the IRS. I don't know, they weren't going emptying their post office box, or they weren't processing things, or what. I still got $4,000 out to them in checks that haven't cleared from them yet. So this mail-in voting stuff and everything, everything's running slower. And there are going to be people and who want to cheat the system, and I don't care if it's Republican or Democrat. If anybody's caught trying to rig the system, I mean, our voting rights, are one of the founding principles and the bedrock of this country. We can't allow that to be tampered with by anybody, no matter how high up they are and whether they think they're justified in doing it or not by stuffing a ballot box or however it would be done. They need to have, be hung by the balls, no matter what party they're from. If we can't have that. And then especially if it's being supported by a foreign government, we can't have that. And if we're doing that anywhere else around the world, we got to stop doing that. We can say who we'd support and who we'd like to see be a leader in another country if we think that person be a more fair or this or that. But overthrowing elections and stuff like that should not be part of our foreign policy. Going and rounding up these pedophile gangs and these drug gangs and cartels and just wiping them out should be part of our foreign policy. Double checking who's supporting these media, not just the talking heads on the news and stuff, but the producers and stuff, the people behind the scenes who put these stories out there that are proven time and time again to be false. These people are supporting anarchy And maybe it's all a big distraction to keep people busy with maybe Trump is going after them for a bunch of pedophile stuff or whatever. So they're like, okay, we'll cause race riots and stuff in the streets. Then we'll do this, we'll do that to we'll make it all political to cover their tracks. So when the pedophile charges and all that stuff comes up, and see, look, they're just making stuff up now. Who knows what's going on? God knows. I don't know. But hopefully, God willing, I pray to God all the time. Expose them. Whether they're the popes, the bishops, the politicians, the Hollywood people, the warmongers, the pedophiles, whatever they are, whatever they're doing, expose them, Lord. Please, and everyone should pray that. Expose them. So, hopefully, even if all this rioting and looting and stuff and all that kind of crap quiets down, if the election results take longer, that crap's just all going to fire back up again. Who knows, maybe tenfold. I do know a lot more people are getting sick of it. There are a lot more opposition groups going to meet these people and tell them get the hell out of their streets. They don't want them there. So, and that's the best thing that can be done. You don't have to be violent about it. I'm not saying don't show up with shotguns, but I'm saying, let the authorities handle it and make sure, if they're not handling it, you don't have to stand there and let them burn your business down or your home down or your neighbor's home or your neighbor's business. If law enforcement won't handle it, be prepared. Anywhere they face people who aren't going to take their shit, they leave. And it's a shame that these democratic governments and cities and stuff and everything will not grow a set and say, we're not having this shit no more. It's a bunch of bullshit. We are not having you go out and loot and burn and do all this kind of crap and intimidate people and threaten people that if they don't give you money, you're going to put them out of business, all that shit. What the hell is this shit? Can anybody just look at some of the old TV shows, The Untouchables, this and that. Go back and look at the old newsreels when the gangs and the big time criminals, the original OGs, were out bank robbing and doing all their kind of crap and everything. The government hunted them down. Them federal agents carried Tommy guns and shot them down in the street like dogs and then posed for pictures with them. Like I said, I'm not going to cry for criminals anymore. I'll cry for George Floyd all you want to. Guy was in his 40s still dealing drugs and doing shit, doing home invasions and stuff. I ain't shedding a tear for that fucker. Screw you. Blow me. I don't give a shit, you dumb motherfuckers. Meanwhile, you got a little kid shot in the head over in South Carolina or North Carolina. He's shot in the head. You got them kids shot up in Chicago. Ain't nobody taken to the streets and going crazy over that. So I've said in plenty of these videos, the thought process in this country is backwards anymore. It is freaking backwards. Kill the innocent babies through abortion or gunfire and all that kind of crap going on, and but then protect the criminals. Make sure their calories are counted and everything else. Get all upset. We got a legal process. It's not perfect, but there's no point anywhere where cops who blatantly commit brutality and stuff, very rarely are they going to get away with it. There's a process. It'll be investigated, this and that. People say, oh, they got that immunity stuff and this and that. 9 times out of 10, that ain't even coming into play. especially now with the body cameras and stuff, they can see somebody resist and attack the police officer. The officer has a right to defend himself. You know, there's a lot of people very ignorant about procedure and law in this country, and why police officers do the things they do and in the manner they do them. And that when they tell you to step back and get away and let them do their jobs, you need to do that. Instead of standing and screaming, oh, you know, look at this, look, oh, you know. You don't even have a clue as what's going on. Anyhow, I'll get off my rant. Just wanted to go over a couple of those things there about the coronavirus, the balloting, mail-in votes, and you know, these lunatics they have for spokespeople for Black Lives Matter, trying to justify their crap. And it just reminds me, just turn on episode of Jerry Springer. You'll see the same types of people. You know, whether they're white or black, doesn't matter. It's they're trailer trash. Thinking they're going to be some kind of leaders of some movement or something like this. You're nothing. You're dust. You'll be long forgotten after not too much longer, one way or the other. People are tired of your shit and all the lies, the made up bullshit. So anyway, wish you all the best out there. God bless. Be safe out there on the road. We'll catch you on the next one. Adios.